History is full of so much, and it's about so much more than just, the dates that we needed to memorize to get through that test in school, right? It's about more than just the facts. It's about the kind of wisdom that we can learn from those who've come before us that we can apply in our lives today. Of course, um, we have a wealth of wisdom from our founding fathers here in America, and I thought I would like to make a few videos about leadership lessons from our founding fathers. And the one I'd like to start with is Patrick Henry. Of course, everyone knows Patrick Henry is the patriot who said, "Give me liberty or give me death." Right? But Patrick Henry also made this statement. He said, "The liberties of a people never were nor ever will be secure when the transactions of their rulers may be concealed from them." I think that's a very interesting quote that Patrick Henry made, and he is making a direct correlation between the experience of liberty and the transparency or lack thereof from leadership. So I guess if I could sum up this into one statement, I would say that being transparent is a better leadership style, not only for the sake of a leader, but for the experience of everyone who is, following after that leadership vision or the agenda or the goal that is being laid out by leadership. Patrick Henry said it as much. He said that our experience of freedom is directly connected to the level of transparency in the transactions of our leaders. So, in the context of leadership, what are some of the benefits of being transparent, of taking on a transparent leadership style? Well, I think number one is that problems get solved easier. You know how to solve problems, and they'll get solved so much easier when people can really discuss what the problems actually are and not have to sort of guess or come at the problem solving from some sideways direction that nobody really knows what we're trying to solve. We just need to, we're just being asked for certain kinds of information or whatever, and nobody understands what is the problem we're trying to address. So by being transparent, number one, we solve problems a lot easier. Number two, I would say that teams are built easier when leadership is transparent, right? Because when there's a transparency, a culture of transparency that's promoted and developed by leadership, well then that also promotes an openness amongst the entire team. There's an openness to discuss different perspectives or opinions, and that not only gives buy-in for the whole team, now because everyone knows that they are free to express their perspective or their voice, not that there's an expectation that now suddenly they're in command or that they are leadership, but that those perspectives and opinions are valued, because then leadership has the ability to benefit. The entire vision benefits when everyone has that transparency and that voice. But that transparency and that openness of sharing, it also not only gives everyone buy-in, like I said, but it gives the leader a better perspective about the qualities that are possessed, the strengths and the weaknesses that are the realities of the team. And now the leadership is better able to mix and match and coordinate those strengths and to make the most out of that team than they were before there was an opportunity for that transparency to happen. By promoting transparency in leadership, the relationships can grow authentically, because now there's open conversation and there's a maturity that happens and develops in the relationships that are being built. That transparency avoids misunderstandings and miscommunications. I think another benefit of transparent leadership is that it promotes trust in leadership. That is what all leadership is built on, is trust. And when everyone understands what the values are, what the goals are, and all these things are being communicated well, and there's transparency, it creates an even greater sense of trust and promotes that. There's also a higher level of performance that emerges. Look, it's like if you think about it, it's kind of like an equation. When you have problem solving, and you have a team that's being built, and relationships that are growing authentically, and trust and leadership, all of that, sort of equates to a higher level of performance, and everyone's going to benefit from that. That all begins with transparency. There's a passage the Apostle Paul wrote. It's found in Ephesians chapter 4, and it says, "Therefore, having put away falsehood, let each one of you speak the truth with his neighbor, for we are members one of another." And this is something, a principle, that Patrick Henry had latched onto, that we find right here in the scripture. It's a principle of being transparent, of being able to communicate with each other in truth, to be able to speak the truth to each other, not concealing things, not deceiving or lying, or avoiding difficult conversations, but promoting unity by being transparent. It doesn't mean there aren't difficult conversations to be had, but it will mean that the stress levels that you feel when you avoid having transparency, and when you're trying to avoid having conversations, now you've eliminated all that stress, and you've promoted a sense of unity in your team, and a sense of trust in your ability, in your character, and your ability to lead whatever team it is that you've been blessed to have. I hope you enjoyed that video. If you have any comments, of course, feel free to leave them below. Like or share the video, and I'll be talking more in the future about leadership lessons from our founding fathers.